Welcome to our latest update highlighting what's happening and changing in relation to employment law and practice. In this episode, we're looking at the right to work, trade union law, timelines and consultations, family-friendly rights, and collective redundancy consultation. Last year, a mandatory digital ID scheme to prove an individual's right to work in the UK was proposed. The government has now announced that this scheme will be voluntary instead after a significant backlash. Further consultation on the implementation of the scheme is expected later this year. Existing plans are for right-to-work checks to be fully online by 2029, but having a digital ID will now be optional. The government is proposing an extension of the illegal working enforcement regime. The reforms, which will be implemented by regulations, will mean that a significantly wider category of working relationships will fall within the scope of the regime. We will keep track of developments. Many changes to trade union law came into effect this month. These include changes to balloting for and the taking of industrial action. The government has produced further guidance, including transitional and saving arrangements and measures which can be accessed by entering the tiny ULR directly into your preferred browser. And on to the Employment Rights Act 2025 generally. The government has published an updated timeline setting out the main implementation dates. One change from its original timeline is that the new fire and rehire restrictions are now expected to take effect in January 2027 instead of October 2026. This is expected to tie in with the expected 1st of January 2027 date for unfair dismissal protection becoming a day one right and the removal of the unfair dismissal compensation cap. The government is also continuing to publish public consultations on changes in the pipeline as a result of the Employment Rights Act 2025, and see below for the most recent of these. Further to the Employment Rights Act 2025, regulations making paternity leave a day one right have been laid before Parliament and will come into force on the 6th of April 2026. It should be noted that there is still no day one right to paternity pay, and the 26-week qualifying period for that will continue to apply. To allow for this change, see this slide for transitional notice provisions that will apply. The notice periods, of course, for parents who are already eligible is unchanged. It should also be noted that the new regulations will allow paternity leave to be taken after shared parental leave from the 6th of April 2026. And finally, the regulations will also make unpaid parental leave a day one right from the 6th of April 2026. Draft regulations pursuant to the Paternity Leave Bereavement Act 2024 have also published. This provides for a new right for bereaved fathers and partners to take paternity leave and will come into force on the 6th of April 2026. In summary, it will be a day one right, and bereaved fathers and partners who lose their partner before their child's first birthday will be entitled to take 52 weeks paternity leave, provided they have the main responsibility for the child's upbringing. There is no right to statutory pay, but of course, employers may choose to make contractual or discretionary pay arrangements should they wish to do so. Employees may still also be entitled to the standard 2 weeks of statutory paternity pay. And finally, a recent and important case, this one on collective redundancy consultation. Currently, where 20 or more redundancies are proposed within 90 days at one establishment, the employer must collectively consult with appropriate representatives. To ascertain when the duty applies, it has been recently held that there is no need to look both forwards and backwards to count the number of past and anticipated redundancies on a rolling basis. Instead, the duty is triggered by only looking forwards with the key focus on the employer's future proposals within this period. This decision has been welcomed, especially by employers involved in complex and phased restructuring. What proposals there are at any informative stage will, of course, always be a matter of fact to be determined. Tribunals undoubtedly will be alive to any artificial divisions of dismissals into batches, deliberate delaying or staggering of dismissals to circumvent these obligations. And that's it for this episode. Do have a look at the tiny URLs for our free podcasts and blogs. And if you've not already done so and are not a subscriber, do request a demo for Employment Essentials. It's full of up-to-date information, practical solutions, and ready-to-use workplace documents. Until next time, goodbye.